American short track racing on Memorial Day weekend is a national pastime, but rarely is it as scenic or spectacular as the Pirelli World Challenge Championship's annual visit to Connecticut's Lime Rock Park. It's time to strap in for the Grand Prix of Lime Rock. Lime Rock Park, an absolute jewel in the northwest corner of Connecticut, and today it plays host to a traditional weekend of sports car racing. It is the Pirelli World Challenge Grand Prix of Lime Rock, powered by M. Great to have you with us. We are getting ready for the 6th round of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship. I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Calvin Fish, Gino Carini covering all the action down in pit lane for us. And Cal, an absolutely beautiful day, warm and humid, and these guys are up to the challenge, and they had a race earlier today, so, boy, jam-packed for them.
It really is. It's a hectic weekend. Things just keep coming at you just like this racetrack. It's like putting yourself in a blender and turning it on warp speed, because this racetrack is extremely fast, has big consequences as we look at some of these turns here, particularly this one, the downhill onto that San Posey straightaway. So the guys are going to have to be on their toes here this afternoon, but they did learn from the earlier race today. Some tweaks on the cars. Not a lot of time to do major setup changes, but they should be ready to go.
Take a look at our race analysis. As you said, 7 turns, 1.5 miles, the track distance here. Some legendary names of these corners, to be sure. Most of them daunting, and that really gets your attention. And at 1.5 miles, 14 cars out here, incredibly closely packed. It has produced some amazing racing over the years. Certainly has this weekend.
It really has, and it's tough to pass here, Greg. I mean, there's such a momentum track. If you put your nose in there and you don't get the job done, suddenly you lose a ton of time, and if you're in a big pack, suddenly everyone is attacking you from behind.
All right, folks, that was the opening of our CBS Sports Network shows. Thank you once again for joining us here on our global web stream. We really, really appreciate you tuning in, and want to thank everybody joining us on Sirius XM as well. And we want to let everybody know that tomorrow, no racing here. That's part of the local regulations, part of the charm. It's just a day of partying, watching racing like the Grand Prix of Monaco and the Indy 500 in Charlotte. And then we'll be with you with a day jam-packed on Monday of all GT racing, and all 4 of those races will be covered on our global web stream at world-challenge.com/stream video, on Sirius XM channel 383 on the radio, or on the app channel 983. So make sure and tune us in. So thanks for joining us here, and remember to come back and spend some time with us on Monday as we get ready for a full day of GT racing. As we said, we're building our CBS Sports Network show. On occasion, we're going to have some pauses and layouts while we are talking to producers, but we really do appreciate you tuning in. It's been an absolutely beautiful day, a warm one, that's for sure, but the fans, they love it here. They find their favorite location, tremendous viewing areas, and they are in for, I think, a show coming up with the touring cars. Thanks for joining in. And that sets the stage. Let's get down to Gino Carini in pit lane for that special command.
Good afternoon, race fans at Lime Rock Park. On behalf of Pirelli Tire, Pirelli North America, and M Performance, here to deliver the most famous commands in motorsports is Glorianne Lignacy from Super Paws Rescue.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, thank you very much, Gloria, and what a great cause it is. It's part of Jamie Cooley, who happens to be the wife of Mark Lennon, who has it's called Racing for Paws, and she aligns with various rescues around the country for animal rescues. Her organization helps find funding for those, and she has Super Paws here this weekend. Absolutely great cause. Husband Mark has said, you know what, I'm going to donate any winnings. We invite everybody else to chip in as well. There is our BMW. That is the beautiful M4CS, the safety vehicle being provided here this weekend, courtesy of BMW. Cal, let's get to our Pirelli storylines. First one, speaking of BMWs, has to be BMW M Strong here.
They are very strong. They have the pole with Johann Schwartz setting down and laying down the fastest lap of the race earlier today. Whitmer winning race 1. That really cuts tight into that championship lead that Vesko Kozrov had, and also a 1-2 finish, so they look really tough here today.
And the other one is front rows diversity. Take a look at those top two rows. Nice blend there.
Yeah, there really is. 4 different manufacturers involved there. BMW on the pole, Genesis Coupe alongside, then Nissan and Mazda round out the second row.
Let's get down and hear from Gino Carini down in the pits.
Hey guys, we do have 2 really short little storylines. Number 1, John Weisberger, back of the pack all the way up to 4th place in race number 1. And Johann Schwartz is a big story today. He ended up DNFing with a broken serpentine belt and ended up right before it broke doing the fastest lap of the day. He's starting on pole, and we expect big things out of Johann starting from the pole.
Absolutely, boy. Talk about timing it, Cal. And so it's going to be fun to watch Johann from the front. It's going to be fun to watch this entire field so close. And they put on a great show, and we'll see it when we come back to Lime Rock Park. The field coming through the downhill turn, the diving turn, and they will be taking up their positions for the standing start here. Always a standing start for the second of the 2 races on one of these weekends at the back of the field, courtesy of BMW, our X5 medical response vehicle. I really appreciate all the support from BMW and M here, as this weekend powered by M. And Johann Schwartz takes up that inside position. Crucial here.
It really is. It's on the dirtier side of the racetrack, so we'll have to see what sort of launch he can get.
All right, and alongside a car that we know has some great speed, we'll see what kind of launch he gets. Jeff Reek in that Gen Racing Genesis Coupe. And as always here, when the lights come on, they get into the 5-second staging, and sometime in that next 5 seconds, the lights will go out and we go racing, and it looks as though the grid is set. This one should be an interesting charge, Cal. And again, 40 minutes once we go green. Lights are on. We are ready to go racing. There it is. And Johann Schwartz on, and he going to start. And Rika really laid down there, and Kozrov slices into second.
Yeah, Vesko Kozrov had a nice start there, but there's some drama there in the middle of the pack. Someone had to take to the grass there.
I think that was Carl Whitmer.
Yeah,
Cal.
looking to make some moves coming off that victory earlier in the day. But his road was blocked. They just got to be careful. He has a fast race car underneath him.
Everybody got away. A little touch right there as John Weisberg trying to figure a way around Steve Streamer in a hurry. That Mazda MX-5 on the back of that white Nissan. But Johann Schwartz, we've seen this before, Cal. When he gets to the lead early, oftentimes he can open up a pretty sizable lead and then baby at home.
Yeah, he certainly can. He's got a brilliant start here, really taken off, and it doesn't look like Kozrov's car has come to life very quickly. He's under attack right now from Jeff Rika, coming off that front row starting position.
And as always, the battling behind fierce, and you can see that's Carl Whitmer trying to figure out a way here to get around Cosgrove's rear racing teammate in Paul Terry. And Matt Travis absolutely nailed that start as well. He has leapt up at 2 spots and is in front of Carl.
Yeah, he's been very confident here this weekend, has shown a lot of pace in that machine, so he's the lead classic BMW right now. But look at Kozrov, he's under attack. Let's take another look at the start here.
Looking for those lights. There they are. They're out. And boy, it looks like Johann just timed that to perfection. And Kozrov, yeah, Rika just didn't go anywhere. There was that move.
Yeah, you can say Whitman there just had to take to the grass to avoid contact there with the Nissan right in front of him.
Yeah, it was Paul Terry, close quarter stuff. And Johann Schwartz has opened that margin up a little bit. Kozrov cannot shake Rika, and that's the Nissan from Rd.6 Racing in front of the Genesis Coupe from Gen Racer. And then the Nissan in the hands of Steve Streamer. That's a Tech Sport Nissan 370Z. But Johann Schwartz in the Rooster Racing, and you see the big WV on the side of the car for West Virginia University, and he is easing away.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable right now. Really worked hard on the setup, had a poor qualifying run, and really had to work hard in trying to get some traction underneath him in that BMW. Looks good in the early going. The key is going to be managing those tires.
Just easing away at this stage, and now starting to pile on some pressure. Steve Streamer is coming after the number 78 of Jeff Rika, and that pace has had them able to drop. Oh, the number 40 with John Weisberg is just having one of those weekends, Cal. He's been fast, no question about it.
Dynamite fast, laid down the fastest qualifying lap, but lost it due to a fuel infraction. Didn't match the fingerprint that they were looking for. Had some old fuel in the cell, which cost him the pole. Had a great run, though, from the back of the pack up to a top 5 finish, but early drama here in race 2.
Oh, and Kozarov, big dive suddenly to the pits. And we're getting a report that that is a drive-through for jumping the start. Apparently he rolled just a tick early.
Wow, that will hurt him big time. It cost you about 17, 18 seconds coming down pit lane at 35 miles per hour compared with staying on the racetrack at full speed. Now we'll see some fireworks.
Oh, my goodness. And this is one of those rules. There is no gray area. It says if you move an eighth of an inch. Oh, yeah.
Terry looks like he's had some damage to the front end. Everyone really slow coming off a big bend. This will help Kozarov's cause as well. A big part of that pack should be able to catch them.
Absolutely. And for Terry, he has shown some tremendous speed, Cal, but also a bit of a proclivity to end up with some damage on that car. That whole
through
front
the
end
wars a little bit the last couple
has.
of race weekends. Had problems at VIR, had an early spin in race 1 here. And there's a lot of damage. He's going to have to pit, I feel for sure. Oh, there's contact there between Nimkov, and then when Terry tried to come back, Nimkov clipped him.
You can see a bit damage as a result now to the left rear of Nimkov in that Auto Technic number 20 BMW. And you can see just in the back of the shot as you look at the damage on Terry's car in that right front in the background, you can see Vesko Kozarov has dropped the hammer. And getting back to what I was saying about that rule on jump start, if you roll an eighth of an inch, you cannot move once those red lights come on until they go off. Any movement is an automatic drive-through.
Yeah, even if you correct it, come to a complete standstill again, it's going to, then we see a bit of debris there.
Yep.
Exiting the right-hander onto No Name. Vesko's going to be on the attack now. He'll get back into the big points. That championship lead that he had coming in of 8 points was cut down to 3 with Whitmer's win and the pole.
And we have seen Vesko put on some absolutely stirring charges through the pack before. And we have seen Johann Schwartz be able to get to the front like he's doing right here. But again, you're seeing Steve Streamer is not allowing Jeff Rika to get away in this battle for second, down to just a couple of car lengths. Then it is the 26 of Travis in the classic BMW 235 IR with Whitmer sitting right behind him. So things settling just a little bit. We're going to sneak away here, but we will be back with more from the 6th round of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship right after this. All right, back with you here on the live web feed. And Johann Schwartz doing what he does, setting fast lap of the race early and opening that margin up. But, boy, these two teammates, this weekend in particular, Cal, both Whitmer and Matt Travis have just found each other on the track and just run in lockstep. Yeah, they've got very similar pace here this weekend. And for Whitmer, championship contender, you'd expect that, but this has been a big breakout weekend for Matt Travis, I feel. Absolutely has. He has shown remarkable speed, and you have to be pretty impressed with it. This morning he got his first podium on the season. It was his 4th top 5 and his 4th straight top 5. But, you know, I think you talked about it before. You get that podium, you get that really good finish, your confidence level goes up, and then things can snowball for you.
Absolutely, and I think we're seeing that from guys that are running second and third right now. Jeff Rieger coming off a runner-up finish at VIR. Streamer got his very first victory. Now we see the result. They've kind of got the momentum. You need it here on the racetrack physically, but they've also got the momentum in terms of their confidence.
And of course, for Robert Nimkoff, he was in just a tremendous scrap in that first race, and he's shown some pretty good form as well. Unfortunately, a little bit of contact with Paul Terry in the team Reardon Racing Nissan. That's dropped him back. There he is. Damage not too bad, and it looks like he may have some speed and might be able to get up and join these guys. He sure played with them a lot this morning.
Yeah, he did. He's running a pretty fast lap time, so he's only a tenth or so off of Johann Schwartz's best of the day.
Margin right now for Schwartz up to about 2.8 seconds last time through. So as he's drawing away, Nimkoff is closing in just a little bit. He's in the Autotechnic BMW 235 IR. Back behind him, another of the classic BMW entries, the 27 of Jason Clooney, comes all the way from British Columbia. There's a good look at Mr. Nimkoff as he is working his way through things right now, sitting in the 6th spot at this stage.
They're really settled here. Everyone's kind of got into a rhythm. No real hard battles going on at this stage. Kozarov certainly making a little bit of ground at the back of the pack, but lots of work to do.
Yeah, it's not a long drive down the pit lane here, but that early in the race when the field's pretty packed up, they're all gone by the time you get through.
Yeah, fortunately for him, one of the shortest pit lanes that we encountered during the championship season, but nonetheless devastating because it is so hard to pass. Oh, big dust at the top. I'm not sure if anyone's off or someone just dropped them big time.
That was a pretty big plume for just dropping a tire, but it may have just run wide and stayed on it, and it'll kick that kind of stuff up in the air. As we go back, here is Paul Terry, the 81 of Rude, and El Gahanian in that Lotus having a good little scrap. Welcome back, everybody. And Paul Terry in that number 33 Reardon Racing Nissan has been in the wars again. Had a great couple of races at Circuit of the Americas, and then starting at VIR, just lots of bumps and contacts, and he's in one heck of a race right now. But I think, Gino, the question would be, how's the car running after the damage?
Well, I have spoken to the crew here at Reardon Racing, and they don't really know. They've gone to the wall. They've checked it out as he passed by. They're going to keep him out there for a little while. They don't know what's going on. He's saying nothing. They also know that their other driver, Vesko Kozarov, did roll the start, probably about 6 inches, they say, but it was enough for him to get a drive-through penalty.
All right, thanks very much. And at least the arrow on the nose of that Reardon Nissan has got to be pretty bad with that splitter just broken and laying on the ground on that right side, Cal.
Yeah, it looks like there's 3 stays holding that splitter up. 2 are still in pretty good shape, because what you don't want to have happen is that come adrift and get under the front tires as you're turning through one of these high-speed corners. So you got to be certainly safe with that. Let's take another look at it there. You can see Terry there just gets a little bit loose. Nimkoff responds, and then they get together with damage to both cars.
Yeah, and it looked like Terry just got sideways and would have been okay. And Nimkoff, it wasn't his fault. He had nowhere to go. And lucky for Nimkoff, he sort of sideswiped him, and that damage on Nimkoff's car pretty minimal. These high-speed corners here, that's where you want that splitter to be pretty effective. Although Terry looks like he's carrying pretty good speed. Whew, and both the Lotus and Vesko Kozarov and the Team Nissan right on the edge.
Yeah, everyone's on the attack right now. Look at Kozarov probing, gets to the inside of the Lotus into the downhill. Nice smooth move there. Lotus hangs on around the outside though, didn't want to give it up.
Well, Nikolai Elgahanian is starting to feel it here. He's doing double duty in the running in the GTS category as well, and just put in a stellar qualifying effort in that category. So there you go. That confidence is up a bit.
Yeah, just coming off a pole position in an earlier qualifying session, so it's going to be a big day for him on Monday.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, things go from bad to worse for the 33 of Paul Terry. He is now being brought to the pits for a drive-through penalty because they judged that he actually moved over and forced Whitmer onto the grass at the start. And so just a tough weekend continuing for Paul Terry. And for Vesko Kozarov, it's a tough break for a teammate, but when he makes the move to the pits, he'll pick up another spot. And Vesko getting another good run, trying to get around Jacob Rude as they get into West Bend. Oh, that's awfully close to try it there, Cal. And I think Vesco at the last moment went, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, if you get halfway alongside, someone turns in on you, one of you is going for ride, that is for sure. Terry stays out, it looks like this lap, so I'm not sure if he's got the communication yet from his crew that he needs to make that pit stop.
Or they may have gotten word, and he's having a pretty intense discussion on it at this stage, trying to plead his case just a little bit. Problem right now for Vesco Kozarov is, as Jacob Ruud is trying himself to figure a way to get through on Terry, every place that Vesco Kozarov wants to go, Jacob Ruud kind of puts his car.
Yeah, and that just shows the competitive field that we have here this year in touring car competition. You saw someone like Johann Schwartz really struggling, qualified, didn't get a clear lap, qualified 9th for the opening round, and then really wasn't making that much progress up in the top 5 or 6 before his drama. But when you put him out front, the car is quick enough to lead comfortably. So there's very fast cars in this field like Kozarov, but no one is easy pickings here, and Lime Rock is tough to pass on as well.
Well, that's the double whammy, isn't it? You have a field that's very close in terms of performance, and now Terry makes the move. He'll head to pit lane, and at the same time, it may have caught Jacob Ruud by surprise, and Kozarov might be able to get the run down to the inside.
He does, as Terry takes that long trip down pit lane. Can't do any service on the car whilst you're serving a penalty like this, so even if they want to just check that out and make sure everything was okay, they cannot do it on this trip down pit lane.
And meanwhile, Kozarov was able to make the move on Jacob Ruud down into turn 1 and has slipped through, and that now is going to promote him into the 9th spot. Still has work to do, Cal, to seriously make any kind of ground up in the points. It's a pretty healthy margin now from him up to the 0-2 of Sarah.
Yeah, it's over 8 seconds, so a lot of work to do, but he's just got to put his head down. He'd love to see a caution, not for any problem for anyone else, but just for a stack up and a reset here.
Right.
But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. A lot of time on the board, though. He's got a quick car, just got to keep pushing hard. Championship leader in trouble.
And this is one of those decisions that he and the team have to make, isn't it? Now you've got, what, some almost 8 seconds to get to the next car, which is only going to be for one position back in the order a little bit. If you, though, burn those tires down getting there, and there is a caution, and you're bunched up, you may not have anything to fight with. So what do you do?
Well, I think you just got to keep pushing. You got to catch up. You know what I mean? You can't count on a caution to cut for the field to come back at you. So you don't want to burn them down, like just totally put them in grind mode through some of these fast sweeping corners, but you certainly need to try and catch up if you can.
And you take a look here. That is Travis, the number 26, with teammate Whitmer. That's 4th and 5th. And we talked about the speed we've seen from Nimkov this weekend. He's run those guys down, Cal. It's a 3-car battle for 4th.
Yeah, he was very strong in the opening round here earlier today, and looks like he's got feisty again. Got dropped down at the very end of the race. He'll be disappointed not to finish on the podium, but certainly showed pace to be there. And right now he's chasing after the guy who won the opening round here today.
Absolutely, and up front, Johann Schwartz continues to lead in the number 80 BMW. The Genesis Coupe of Jeff Rika sits in 2nd. Steve Streamer in the Tech Sport Nissan sits in 3rd. And then this great battle for 4th, and we'll see how that all plays out when we come back to Lime Rock. So in kind of keeping an eye on things here, Cal, Rika about 2.3 seconds adrift of Schwartz, and then Streamer another 1.5 seconds behind them. And Streamer, looking at those lap times, losing a little bit of ground on that lap to Jeff Rika. So at that top 3, things have sort of stabilized a
They
bit.
really have. Everyone running very similar lap times, within a 10th or 2 lap dependent, but Travis just laid down his fastest lap. Ruud just laid down his fastest lap of the race. So certain guys are finding more and more speed. So the racetrack has not gone away from them. And I think for Schwartz, he's a pretty savvy driver. He'll be thinking, listen, just manage this gap. Keep it about 2 seconds. 2 to 3 seconds is what you want. If you get a little bit of traffic, you're not in a panic then to get by. But don't, wear on those tires here in the early going.
As he brings it down through the diving turn onto the Sam Posey straight. There's the margin 1st to 2nd, and you can see 2nd to 3rd. It looks as though Travis may have gapped now Whitmer and Nimkov once again. Possibly if Nimkov is just nipping at Whitmer, that might be slowing Carl down a little bit as he's defending here and there.
Yeah, Travis just laid down his fastest lap of the race at a 58 flat compared to the fastest lap right now by Johann Schwartz at a 57.6.
Jeff Rica, we have seen him put on some stellar drives. Oftentimes we've seen it at the longer tracks where he can really stretch the legs of that car, but they've been working on that car, and it has become a pretty nimble warrior for some of the tighter tracks as well. He's good everywhere.
Yeah, he really is. Did a lot of developing on that car over the offseason. Had some overheating issues in 2017 that they feel they're now on top of. And it just has to stay in the sweet operating range, otherwise it'll go into engine preservation mode, which they were concerned about. But seems like they got the cooling right, the balance is good. He's doing a great job behind the wheel.
He had in the first race of the day here a mega save sideways at the way wide of the apex in the diving turn and saved it. So man's got some car control skills as well. And Johann Schwartz right now just floating speed around here, not taking too much out of it, it doesn't look like.
Further in the pack, Kozrov has closed the gap to Sarah from 8 seconds down to 4 seconds now.
Welcome back to the Pirelli World Challenge Grand Prix of Lime Rock, powered by M. First of the races on the weekend, unfolding earlier this morning. Drivers getting ready to go. Hydration was key, warm and humid. And at the start, pole sitter Carl Whitmer got a great run. Robert Nimkoff looked at him, but Whitmer able to hang on to that lead.
Yeah, it's a great battle up front, all about the BMWs. Then Jeff Rica and Paul Terry get together, exiting turn 4. Terry goes for a spin.
He was able to gather it up and get going again. At that point, Carl Whitmer had opened up a bit of a margin, but Johann Schwartz early in the race, somehow in traffic, Cal was able to find room and laid down a blisteringly fast lap.
Had so much pace, poor qualifying run, but made some changes to the setup. He was a man that had a mission, and he had the speed.
And behind Carl Whitmer, a huge battle erupted for the next 4 or 5 spots. Involved point leader, the number 3 of Kozarov right there. And this battle was just going to continue. Rica loose, trying to stay in front of Johann Schwartz.
Yeah, that was a great battle, and look at this battle. This continued for many laps. Kozarov trying to put the move on Nimkoff. Nimkoff comes back at him.
Rica tried to show the nose and slide through as well. Kozarov made sure that didn't happen. And these guys were just going to continue scrapping like this. Coming from the back, he had been on pole, had a problem in tech with some tainted fuel, and Weisberg on a charge, and finally Kozarov able to get through, and then a touch.
Yeah, he swung out wide, thought he had the position made. Nimkoff wasn't giving it up, but a little bit later in the lap, finally Kozarov sweeps around him in the downhill. But look at Jeff Rica right behind. Almost loses it, a great catch, but watch this. Weisberg flies through.
Yep, he had a great charge from the back, did John Weisberg, and Johann Schwartz suddenly dives into the pits, retires. That's a big story in terms of the points. Meanwhile, Carl Whitmer hanging on, gets his first win of the year, closes the margin up in the points. He was a very happy camper, as you would imagine here, as that checker flag flew, and the young talent from Montreal, Quebec came by. The crew absolutely delighted, as was Carl, as he got out and the celebrations commenced in pit lane, and eventually the champagne flying in victory circle. Great day for Classic BMW on a weekend that is powered by M. Doesn't get much better than that. And it is another M, this one, the M235IR of Johann Schwartz, comfortably in the lead right now, Cal.
Yeah, it's an immaculate performance so far. Really seems like the car has great balance, not like we saw earlier in the weekend. So hats off to that whole crew in terms of working at it. You see those bright yellow gloves. that Johan wears here, courtesy of one of his sponsors, Saybelt. So he loves the support he gets with his team, and it's so important with some of these operations.
Well, a big supporter of his is shopbmwusa.com, but also you see the big V and WV on the side. That's West Virginia University, and he's got a great program going with their mechanical engineering department. He's got two young men, Mark and Justin, who are going for their mechanical engineering degrees. And Mark, just because he wants to do a little bit more, is also going for an aerospace engineering degree. They're embedded in the team right now. Talked to both of them, and they said, boy, the real world knowledge and application of engineering we're seeing here is just fantastic. And Johan, just delighted to be in that partnership.
He is, and he's actually going to have his race car at one of their home games in September. So look for that on September 22nd. You'll see that race car with Johan there for the fans. So see if he can bring it home. I mean, not been the smoothest couple of race weekends for him. Shown a lot of pace. Had that problem in race 2 at VIR where the car got damaged and got a penalty for the contact with Kozarov. Serpentine belt this morning caused him to retire, but he's got pace right now, looking for his second win on the season.
And you know, you've been over and talking to Eric at that team. What are they saying?
You know, you can imagine they're a little apprehensive to smile, but they know that their guy's running away with it. It was really as simple as a serpentine belt and a realignment of the car. He said whatever alignment they did is working and working well, and he goes, I don't want to talk about it after that. So they're doing well and they're happy, so let's keep it going. Hopefully Johan will finish strong.
Well, there's a bit of superstition in the sport. You know, when you got your guy up front and things are looking good, the last thing you want to do is say, yeah, it's looking good, because that's when things tend to go wrong here. We go back now, and Vesko Kozarov has been able to move up and has gone around Sarah, and that now puts him into the 8th spot. And I mean, anything he can get right now, Cal, is crucial in terms of those points.
It really is, particularly with Whitmer running up ahead of him. Not that far ahead of him now. It's only a couple of positions, so that certainly minimizes the damage. And it is all about damage control. When you have something happen like this with the penalty and the jump start, just got to get your head down and just think about the points at the end of the day.
There's a look there at the number 27 of Jason Clooney, who would be the next guy, but there's the margin. Kozarov has a lot to have to accomplish here to chase down Jason Clooney, another of those classic BMW 235 IRs. I just wanted to say a big shout out to Anthony Serra, local driver out of North Salem, New York. I put together a deal to run here with Autotechnic in a Team 235 IR. Hope we see more of him. He has shown that he is more than capable of running, and it would be great to see him in this championship moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. A very nice run here today against some of the stalwarts of touring car competition. Jason Clooney having a nice run here, doing the full season this year. No one up ahead of him. It's the lonely part of the racetrack right now. It's like he's rented the track by himself.
Exactly, and you can see Kozarov can see him, but does he have time to do anything with it? And Clooney, you know, you'd like to have a good weekend when you've got to make that trek all the way back to Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Not a bad place to go home, mind you.
That's pretty sweet.
Kozarov just, you know, he's not going to give up. He will go for anything he can here as we're at 15 minutes remaining in this race. And that's something we've seen, sort of a pattern this weekend. Not that I want to jinx anything here, but it's been in the latter third of these races that we've seen today. Every once in a while, I don't know whether it's the heat and just slipperiness on the track or a little exhaustion by the drivers in this humidity. We've seen things happen, and things can change up.
They really can, and the first 3 positions look pretty settled, but behind that there's a pack that is really intensifying right there as they head down into Big Bend. 2 classic BMWs, Travis and Whitmer. Nimkov's not far behind them.
It's been interesting to see that the gap between Travis and Nimkov oftentimes hasn't really changed. It's where Whitmer's moving in between here, and it looks like he gets up close, and then he fades a little bit. He has to deal with Nimkov, and he's able to run back up onto Travis. Travis a little wide there, but he's able to guide it through.
Very nice, actually. Yeah. Good flow through there, maximizing the track out, car and a nice little drift. He's feeling it this weekend.
Yeah, he really has hit his stride here. So while Schwartz, Rika, and Streamer are running 1, 2, 3, the battle for 4th is superb here at Lime Rock. Back with you here on the web as we're laying out for the CBS Sports Network show. It really has been an interesting dynamic between these 3 guys. because at one point you'll look and the two classic BMWs are absolutely in lockstep, and Nimkov's back a little bit. Then the next time we come to him, you see Travis out by himself, and sort of what's unfolding here. You see Whitmer close right up. And is that possibly that he gets close? These cars aren't super aero dependent, but you get close enough. I don't know that you're losing air on the nose like you would with a big aero car, but maybe
yeah, a little bit. Certainly can affect the aero a little bit. I mean, these aren't like high downforce cars like TCR or the GT machines that are going to be running here on Monday, but nonetheless, you're going to get a little bit of aero wash.
One thing, though, I'm seeing the pace of these guys is sort of bringing them up to the back of Streamer. Last lap, Travis went a lap that was almost half a second quicker than Streamer, and that margin he had, it was over 1.2 seconds last time by, and it's down to underneath a second, Cal.
Yeah, this could be a real battle for that final podium spot, the way these guys are running. Those three BMWs are chasing down that Nissan Streamer right now. Schwartz looking comfy out front. That gap has sort of been very stable there, right just under 3 seconds.
Well, it was a three-car battle for fourth. It is quickly becoming a four-car battle for third here in round 6 of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Championship at the Pirelli World Challenge Grand Prix of Lime Rock Park, powered by M. And Steve Streamer's been doing a great job in that Tech Sport Nissan 370Z. But this brace of BMWs behind him, Cal, is starting to close him up.
They really are. He's backed up a little bit away from Rika and got right into this pack, and he's going to have to start to compromise his lines a little bit to defend that position. So coming off a brilliant weekend at VIR where he had a podium run, then a win. A lot of confidence going on inside that car, but right now the BMWs on this longer run are coming back at him.
Speaking of confidence, we are seeing, I think Matt Travis's confidence is growing virtually every corner of every lap.
Yeah, he had that little off in qualifying right in this section of the racetrack when he went back out to try and sneak onto the front row or grab pole position. And the team did a great job bolting that car back together with no ill effects. Very, very quick, and seems like he can put the car wherever he wants on the racetrack. Really tuck it in through the left-hander especially, really carving the corners.
Well, I wonder if that in and of itself, he got a great run there, didn't he?
Yeah, Stream a little bobble there. Travis is so close, I'm not sure he can take advantage of it.
Yeah, but Matt, after you have an off like that, you come back and you realize in that first race that the crew has given you a spot-on race car, and that confidence goes up. Then he has a run like he did in the morning race. Absolutely, and you always feel after you put the crew through a big thrash like that, that I need to reward him. I need to get something done here that's special, and boy, has he.
Yeah, it's all about teamwork and chemistry and working hard for each other and delivering. Certainly the team has delivered, and Matt has delivered so far this weekend. Whitmer's hanging in there. Know that the guy he's chasing the championship is behind him, and it's going to be super tight at the end of the day if he continues to run in this position.
And Gino, Steve Streamer in that Tech Sport Nissan starting to feel the heat. What are they saying in the Tech Sport pit?
Yep. I'm down here with Kevin Anderson, the co-owner of Tech Sport Racing, talking about Steve Streamer. He's having a great race, seems to have a commanding drive going. Is he talking to you guys? What do you think about the car? Tell me something.
Nissan has been awesome this year. We love it. It's a brand new build. We're developing it this year. It's our first year with the car. It won at Virginia. It's awesome here. Steve's doing an excellent job. He's so composed. I couldn't ask for anything more. We're running in third right now.
So he did win at Virginia, and now he's running for second place up here. It sounds like if he just keeps his head down and keeps going forward. Are you guys talking about tire degradation with that car? It's a little heavier than the other cars.
The car has been great. We really have no complaints with it. We had some overheating issues in the first race, so we went into limp mode. It dropped us back, but it's cooled down, and we got that solved, and he's just running awesome. And we're just looking for consistent finishes for the rest of the year, stay in the overall points, and just have a great season. Next race is Portland, his home track. We expect to do good there.
Outstanding. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks, Gino. One thing I am noticing is that car right there, that car is slipping and sliding just a little bit, so he's obviously really working on it. One thing I want to say about Kevin Anderson and Tech Sport, we've been watching. That's a team that started off running in the championship a few years ago, pretty small operation, and each year they've just bigger and bigger and bigger, and have continued to step up the program. And I mean, look where they are. You've got a guy like Steve Streamer running incredibly well in touring car, and you look at what Powell is doing in the Touring Car A category. It's a team on the rise for sure.
It really is. They're delivering results. Oh, Streamer's wide there. The classic BMW should get by him, at least one of them. Travis is taking advantage. Can Whitmer go with him? Yes, he does. Streamer's got to be careful. His tires are going to be dirty as he hits the uphill. Nimkov looking for a spot as well.
He's going to look to the inside. He's there. Streamer just can't get that to turn with the dirt on those tires, and that cost him 3 spots. When you said that, when he said he runs wide, you said the classic. I thought you were going to say, the classic push wide there, and it's no. The classic BMWs are pouncing, and Nimkov in the Auto Technic BMW able to do so as well. But look at Streamer coming right back after him.
Yeah, he is, and getting back to the team when you deliver results like they are at the moment. As Steve looks to the inside, he'll be a little fired up after that little mistake there running wide. The key is through a corner like that, you should feel that you're just getting a little bit off the radius you want to be in, and just wait on the throttle a little bit longer, try and get the front end tucked. But he just pushed, he was under pressure and just ran that little bit wide, loses traction, and this cost him 3 spots in a lap.
And it's that moment that, it can happen with push, it can happen with oversteer when you get a little greedy, pick that throttle up just a little too soon. That kind of thing can happen, and that's all part and parcel. When you're driving a car that's got the performance level of that 370Z, you're still learning all the time for sure. And this track, as you said, Cal, it comes at you so fast.
It really does. It's an intense racetrack, and it has big consequences. It's old school, high speed, not a lot of runoff room, and it demands your attention for every second of the race.
One of the stories here as well is we've been talking about Travis's performance in terms of speed, but he's 3rd in the points right now as well, and getting around. Steve Streamer was 4th, Whitmer and Travis getting in front of him. That's pretty crucial in this points championship.
It really is. He's leaping up the points table in a hurry right now with these performances that Travis is putting in.
Up front, Johann Schwartz, that margin is first time we've seen it significantly under 2 seconds. It's down to 1.5 seconds. And last lap times, though, pretty identical between Schwartz and Rika, so you have to think that maybe Johann is just really driving the margin and managing things beautifully.
Yeah, when you get it down to 1.5 seconds, though, it doesn't give you a lot of time to, if you're shooting down a traffic, to deal with it and be patient. But right now, this is Kozarov. He's trying to find another guy. This is Jason Clooney that he's chasing after right now. Battle for 7th.
He made up a ton of ground. Remember, it was almost a full straightaway that Clooney was down the road. And so, yeah, when Kozarov gets the fuse lit here, he can do some pretty special things. Down the hill we go. Let's see, does he get a run onto the front straight? Clooney looked to be able to get a pretty solid run. It's a drag race down. Clooney protecting. Kozarov in the tow. Let's see if he makes the move. Ducks to the inside. If he can make it work, this will be for the 7th spot. Clooney defends. Kozarov has to tuck back in. Great racing everywhere we look here at Lime Rock Park. Now this phenomenal battle continues here for the 7th spot. Jason Clooney holds it. Kozarov wants it, and one of the reasons is it's more points for the points leader, who's really in serious issue right now with losing that lead.
Yeah, he is. He'll be 3 points down on Carl Whitman at the end of the day, unless he may. Oh, that was a big sideways move by Vesco. Nice catch.
Yep.
Man has a lot of talent, but he's wringing that Nissan's neck right now, trying to find some performance.
And that cost him. That's what we talk about with this momentum track. That wasn't a big slide. It wasn't. He was full sideways, just that little bit. He had to breathe to hang on to it. And suddenly you've lost 3-4 car lengths. He's got to do all that work over again, and that means a little bit more torture on these Pirelli P0s. So I have to say, in the heat and humidity here, and the fact that this race is, they are just pounding around on these tires, they're still putting up some tremendous performance, Kyle.
Yeah, they really are. It's a torturous test around this racetrack. It's like an oval, essentially, other than the left-hander. You just keep working those left side tires. And certainly both these men are really pushing their cars to the limit. Oh, Clooney's a little bit wide there into the uphill. Misses the apex. But nice job just noticing that, blending back onto the line as you crest the hill. And it looks like that BMW is super strong into the brake zones. He drops wheels in West Bend. Close enough there. Kozarov thought about it, but dangerous move into the downhill if you're thinking of a move there into the inside.
If you're going to make a move into the downhill, you need to get it make it and get it done early. A late move there.
BMW is just stronger on the brake. Kozlov kind of gets in a position, but just can't take it in deep enough. So he's feeling it. He's feeling the dynamic of the car and what it will allow him to do. And the suspension geometry on that BMW just allows it to brake a little bit later into the corner.
So now he just goes back to studying, trying to find a way through as the clock is ticking away in this one. See what he can do here through West Bend. Oh, and again, Clooney dropping the tires there. He knows he's under attack. He's doing everything he can to carry speed. You keep dropping those tires like that, it eventually can catch you out. And Kozlov here gets another good run, Cal.
Oh, he's a lot closer than he's been before, but he's got to get alongside him and just position, keep the car right there, just like that. Textbook from Vesco.
And then, yeah, not float wide when you get to the
key.
Second part of Big Bend, and that was beautiful.
No need to rush through the corner at that point. Just slow it all down, just maintain the position on the inside, hold your opponent offline, and then blend back in. That's exactly what he did.
And unless something untoward happens here in these final couple of minutes, that's probably where Kozlov's going to end up in 7th, because the next gap is a big one, almost 18 seconds up to Steve Streamer. And so Kozlov at this stage, just hustle it, get yourself a little bit of a margin so Clooney can't come back at you. And at that point, you probably just ease out of it a little bit, make sure that you bring it home and get whatever points you can. After a weekend like that, get what you can, right?
Yep, frustrating day though for our championship leader. And it all began at the lights. Just sneaked forward a little bit, then had a good start, but got that penalty. Right now as they're running, Whitmer would have the lead tonight by a couple of points.
Well, that means heading into Portland, Kozlov is going to be a man on a serious mission. Clooney looking forward to Portland as well, since it's a lot closer. He probably has a few laps around Portland International Raceway. And again, they're coming up in the back of the 33 of Terry, but remember, he's a couple of laps down. So we're into our final minute here. And Johann Schwartz has that margin. He's let it slip to about a second here. Yeah, Rika is closer than we've seen.
Yeah, he has kept the pressure on in terms of his lap times, and Schwartz got to take a look here and see if that car is slipping and sliding here with time running out.
He has 1 lap and a half here to hang on. White flag next time by.
Yeah, he's just going to miss it probably by just a few seconds. And he can't lift off because the gap is close. Look at Rika. His car looks really strong here in the late going. Great management of the tires by Jeff Rika in the Genesis Coupe.
He's done a superb job. Just never lost sight of Johann and kept the pressure on. Down the hill we go. And white flag flies.
Look at the clock. Really
close.
A couple of seconds.
Oh, man.
Doesn't matter. You got to do a full lap.
Yep, you're absolutely right. He would have loved to have breathed out of it a little bit, I suppose, but you just don't want to take that risk. He's given up enough to Jeff Rika. He still has the fastest lap, Schwartz does, but in the most recent laps, Rika's been clearly the man running a little bit quicker.
Yep. He's got a clear road ahead of him, so he should be good. Hit his marks, just keep doing what he's been doing throughout the course of these 40 minutes so far.
And then Travis right now in that classic BMW, number 26, hanging on for the final podium spot.
Great day for him. 2 podiums. That is awesome. Really vaults him up the points table.
It does indeed, and it's going to bring him even closer to Carl Whitmer, so the battle should be fierce. But as they come through here at the Pirelli World Challenge Grand Prix powered by M, it is M that comes through. BMW wins at Lime Rock Park, the 235 IR of Rooster Hall Racing and Johann Schwartz, and you can see him celebrating inside that. That's why he wants those gloves, is to be able to let people know, and he loves this moment here. What a run, Jeff Rika, another stellar drive in the Gen Racer Genesis Coupe, and Matt Travis bringing it home on the podium, and another great finish, 3rd and 4th for the classic BMW team, with Nimkov for Autotechnic bringing that home in the 5th spot. But I'll tell you, got closer than I think Johan would have wanted at the end.
Yeah, he kept him real, that is for sure. But what a bounce back weekend for Johann Schwartz. Didn't have the qualifying pace, worked on the car. Fastest lap in the first race, grabbed him the pole, and then he just set sail.
And obviously, with that issue that had him parking, they were able to get something out of it in terms of some points just by being able to complete halfway. But the bigger issue was starting on the front. When he leads away, Cal, he's tough to beat.
He is, and with a couple of problems now in 2 races recently, he's not really in the points battle right now, so he's going to be a dangerous man. He's just going to be focused on victories and see if the points chase will come back to him.
And enjoying the moment and celebrating. He's making his way to pit lane in victory circle. And awaiting the celebration, he stops and he's saying, pit lane, I'm parking right in the middle of this thing. I'm going to get out and celebrate. Johann Schwartz, what a race he put in here, and did it controlling it from the front. And he is an effervescent guy. It's going to be a fun celebration, and obviously he's going to get the helmet off, and Gino Carini is going to be down there to have a chat with him. And I think Jeff Rika is going to be pretty pleased. You hate to finish second by only a second, and you think, what if? But it would have been awfully easy at this track to throw it away trying to do that as well.
Yeah, and he's knocking on the door. 2 runner-up finishes the last 2 race weekends. That's brilliant performances by him, and his time will come.
It will indeed, but this day it is for Johann Schwartz as he climbs out of that Rooster Hall Racing BMW. Gino?
I am down here with Johann. He's got his crew coming up. Johann, give me 1 second, all right?
Oh, my God.
What a special victory. I know you had some
unbelievable.
issues in race 1. You
did.
made a lot of changes. How special is this win for you today?
This is unbelievable. We had a little bit of a bad luck at the VIR, and then we didn't really come out of the box like we wanted to here at Lime Rock. Through the book at some changes, made it work. Focused on a qualifying lap in race 1 and got it and got pole, and here we are in victory lane. But it's thanks to those guys, Michelle and Todd Brown, and all the sponsors that's behind Instrumart. West Virginia University got 2 interns here. Unbelievable effort by everybody. They never gave up.
Congratulations, Johann. On to Portland, buddy.
Yeah, he is elated. A few years ago, won the Touring Car B Championship, and you could see the racecraft that he had on that run, and he has since been able to put this program together. It's fantastic, and setting Guinness Book of World Records and drifts when he's got some spare time.
Yep, he loves to drive anything and anywhere.
There's a look at the results right now. Schwartz over Rika. Travis, a great third. His teammate Carl Whitmer in 4th. Those 2 guys well placed in the points. Nimkov in 5th. And maybe the big story there sits in 7th, Cal.
Yeah, Vesko Kozrov drawing that penalty for jumping the start. So the championship leader coming in, he's now a few points behind. And
guess what? It's Matt Travis. What a race day he put in here. He is also our VP Racing Fuels hard charger, up car 26, up a number of spots. So congratulations to Matt. Absolutely fabulous run. Well, that's going to wrap things up here. Next round comes up in a little while in Portland International Raceways. Pirelli World Challenge returns there for the first time in a long time. But it's been an amazing day here at the Grand Prix of Lime Rock Park, powered by M. For Calvin, for Gino, and our entire CBS Sports Network crew, I'm Greg Creamer. In association with WC Vision, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.